So I just got back from Vegas not too long ago. I've been thinking about the MR2, basically thinking about what might have caused me not getting in a second and reverse when I was trying to shift. And I noticed when I took out the engine that this cable broke right there on the bracket. So this play might have been the cause of me not being able to get in a second and reverse. And I found a couple threads on the internet and they pretty much had the same issue. One guy couldn't get into a second and the other one couldn't get into all the bottom gears, so second, fourth, and reverse. So I'm pretty convinced that it's the cable. These cables are discontinued. Toyota doesn't make them anymore. They still make SW20 cables, so I might try to see if those will fit. So I'm gonna pull these cables out, and I have some measuring to do now. All right, so I got the shifter cables out. One of them's held in by a cotter pin, and the other one's bolted to the shifter. And there's a bracket in the engine bay that holds it into place. You just pull them out. The cables are held in by clips, so I just pulled it out through that hole over there. Now I got them laid out right here. So the one that's broken is about 4 feet long, and that'll be this one right here, and the other one's just probably about like an inch shorter. So I'm gonna go see if the SW20 cables are similar. If not, then I'll have to source a used replacement from AW11. Another thing is, I'm not sure if the supercharged model has different throttle cables, so we will see what's up with that. But for now, I got them out, so I'm happy. Finally got the MR2 out of the garage. Actually pushed it up my little ramp up here by myself, but finally got it out. Now that it's outside, you can see all the rust spots. Some inside there, fenders in the front, lower valance. Still contemplating whether or not I should run the fiberglass front fenders. Some rust right there. It's not horrible, but it's mainly the back. Some areas in the front as well. But I mean, common problems on the MR2, especially the rear arches. And being that this car went from Japan, I'm not sure exactly where, but Japan to England, so I'm just glad I'm getting the body work done soon. So yeah, just waiting for the tow truck, and it's off to Udine to get all this rust repaired. On another tow truck, off to Udine. So I got the Stagea back in the garage. MR2's gone, off to the body shop. Yeah, now I'm gonna work on this thing. It's been chilling for a while, haven't really been using it, but coming from England to Italy, the humidity over here in Italy got to the rust. So this is a common area where Stagea's rust, right underneath the side view mirror. And this just used to be a little dot when I was in England. It wasn't even that bad, and now it just spread. So I'm gonna start some rust busting. I got a bunch of parts lined up in one of my storage rooms next door. And yeah, next time you see this, it'll probably be stripped down. So with the 25-year rule and all these imports coming into the States, yeah, people are starting to import a lot of cars. The Stagea is a 97, or actually I think a 96 for the first model year. So don't be surprised if you start seeing these in a few years. But the big question is part support. Probably gonna order a lot of stuff from Japan unless you start cross-referencing numbers, part numbers like I did. So I try to look up to see what was available in the States that is the same for this car. So a couple times now, this right rear caliper is seized up. And yeah, I had a hard time trying to find rebuild kits for it. So I was like, fuck it, I'll just try to find some new calipers. So in the States, Infiniti Q45, 1997 model. Pretty much all the brakes and stuff are the same. I got these, sorry for the lighting, it's like 5 o'clock in the morning here, still dark. But yeah, I got these calipers and brake lines. They're remanufactured by Duralast. I bought them off of AutoZone. And other than the casting marks, they're exactly the same. So I took a chance, I ordered them. And yeah, I ordered the brake lines as well. These are the back ones. And these are the fronts. Everything looks pretty similar. So I'm gonna start taking stuff off and putting them on. But as far as the rear brake lines, they look pretty much the same. Same length going down to the caliper. So yeah, I think it's gonna work. I'll start taking stuff off. I already sprayed some WD-40 on the lines and stuff. While I was underneath here, I haven't put this car on a lift in a while since I moved to Italy, so I can see some rust starting to develop underneath the car. So this is probably gonna go to the body shop next, but that'll be later. So time to start work on this thing. And yeah, let's see how it goes. All right, so I got this Q45 caliper on here and it fits. However, I bolted it on so I can unbolt the caliper itself from the carrier, because the bolts are really tight. So I'm gonna put it on here so I can loosen those bolts. But I noticed the carrier is different. It goes straight down, and the original one is a little curved, if you could see there, which is fine because the piston, the caliper itself with the piston in it looks the same. So I could probably just use the old carrier. Now the thing is, looking at this leads me to believe that I can put a bigger rotor back here. So later along the line, is something I'm going to experiment with. I'm going to see if the Q45 rotor is actually bigger. So I'm going to do some research and see what the diameter is. Because yeah, I could probably get a new dust shield and rotor if that's the case, and I can run a bigger rotor back here. So we'll see what's up with that later. But I'm gonna keep cracking on with this caliper, swap it over to the old carrier. All right, so I got the caliper on, installed on the old carrier. Obviously I bought brake pads with it, but they're not gonna fit because they're actually bigger. So they're basically the same shape, just a little bit bigger because it uses a bigger rotor on the Q45. So I guess that'll be an upgrade I'll do later. I'll do some more research on it and see what's up. But I mean, the caliper's the same. Just got to bolt it on that carrier, which is fine. Everything bolts on. The brake line fits. Just kind of have to manipulate it into place because this brand new hose, it's kind of a little stiff. You got to work it a little bit. So it's in there. Everything's tightened up. The only thing is, this being remanufactured by an American company, they put a fucking bolt with a 17/6 or 7/16 head on there. So guess you gotta have to get a different socket every time I fuck with that. But I mean, only have to do that the one time, so should be all right. But yeah, just gotta do the other side now. All right, so it's been a little bit since I've worked on my Stagea. Got it on jacks in the front. Decided to hold off on the calipers and the rotors because I ordered the Q45 rotors for the rear. The brake lines were different on the front, so I had to order those from Japan. I ripped off the front fenders and the front bumper and the headlights and stuff so I can check out the rust. Ever since I brought it to Italy, the humidity got to this car and all the little small rust spots that it had from England just started to spread. So yeah, there's little spots of rust throughout. Underneath here in the wheel wells. Probably gonna drop the subframe, paint that up nice, and do the same thing to the rear. But while the MR2's in the body shop, I'm gonna work on this. So I'm gonna pull the engine. I got like a rear cylinder head oil drain kit for this. I need to replace the timing belt and a bunch of other stuff. So the next time you see this car, pretty much the front and the rear are gonna be stripped down. And yeah, that's pretty much it for now. I'm gonna be headed to England soon, so just stay tuned for that. I'm gonna make a visit over there and pick up my Lexus IS200 that I bought recently, and I'm gonna drive it back.